Hello and welcome to Wednesday Waffle. I'm recording the intro to Wednesday Waffle, a little bit earlier. I'm sat at Port Gordon and I thought I'd just do a quick intro now. I'm going to tell you a story about playing hide and seek. And meanwhile, while I'm telling this story, there's a seal just off the water there who is playing hide and seek. I'll show you that before we get onto the story. So, having seen that brief clip, here we are, and we've had some mail this week. Can you see? From Carrie and Mark. And it just says, "Hi Dave, thanks so much for your support. Love, Carrie and Mark." And I won't read the other bit because it'll make me blush. And what we've got is a little card. The Art of RVing. We've got Mark and Carrie's sticker. And we've got the star of the show sticker, Gus, the Crabby Camper. Go take a look over there, see their channel, and see if Gus is on. Because he's not always there, but he is often making an appearance. So, nothing more to say. Port Gordon was a great trip, as you'll find out when the diaries come out and the videos. But here, I'm going to hand over to the guy in the studio. He's that way, or that way. He's one of the ways around here. And he can tell you a story of playing hide and seek. Well, that was a little different. We'd spent the weekend in Port Gordon last weekend. That was our Donder. I went off on Thursday night and Lindsay joined me on Saturday. But also on Saturday we were joined Kev, Sarah and Ruby. Mustn't forget Ruby. And Kev has a channel called Anonymous where he does his art and his van, and well worth a look. It's only a small channel and well worth a look. Great couple, great channel. Should have many more subscribers than it has. Anyway, Kev and Sarah came bearing gifts. Mugs with our shiny new logo on. And on the back it says, "Lindsay's mug, best mug of the day." And one for me. And I bet you can't guess what that says on the back. Correct. The same. No, it doesn't. It says David's mug. Or rather Dave's mug, the best mug of the day. Excuse me. One more. This mug looks the same until you turn it round. Like the other mugs, it has the banner, has the YouTube and Facebook and what have you logos, because that's where you can find us. But it also has some writing on it. And what do you think that writing says? It says, "To walk in a slow and carefree manner, not really concerned with how long it takes to arrive at one's destination." A Donder. Not a Donder. A Donder. A Donder is different to a Donder. There you go. Anyway, that mug is special. It is a one-off. It's unique. And we're going to have to find a difficult contest or special occasion in which to give it away. So keep watching. Sometime in the future we'll be giving that special mug a new home. Anyway, Not only that, but he brought us, or brought me, a t-shirt to try. Yep, had the logo on. Let me just get it for you and I'll show you. So, there's the t-shirt. We're here today now though to tell a couple of stories. The main story is about hide and seek, and then I'll finish it off with a little seriousness about the time of playing hide and seek. What on earth can he mean? Well, both incidents involve gate guard duty or guard duty at RF Kinloss during the 80s and 90s, late 80s and 90s. And it was, it fell to a mix of experienced and inexperienced junior airmen who would receive a little bit of extra training just before they were to do the guard duty, on top of their normal rifle, etc. training, and then they would become, for a week, 2 weeks, the guards force for the unit. And you work shifts on it, you cover 24/7, and you manned the gate, you manned protection for the gate, and mobile patrols about the married quarters at camp, the single accommodation at camp, and Southside married quarters. The usual bits and pieces that were outside the wire. And gate guard manning the gate was routine. You checked IDs, passes, etc. and allowed access. If you were covering the gate, you were armed and just covered the gate from the firstly a sanger, short for sand hanger, which was basically somewhere you sat protected by sandbags. This was later replaced by a concrete tube, basically, but did the same job. You stood in there, were protected, and you covered the gate guard. However, we haven't got to digress to the we haven't got to hide and seek yet, so I have to explain the mobile patrols. The guard patrolled the area of the married quarters, both airmen and officers, which were outside the wire but at the camp. So it was the north side and south side quarters, basically. The patrols were in Land Rovers and a Sherpa van sometimes. The patrols were, boring's the wrong word, because obviously you've got to stay alert and you're looking for things that people that shouldn't be around. And this is fairly difficult on a married patch, basically because there's visitors, there's cars, and that. But in the small hours, when everybody was supposedly tucked up in bed, the guard patrols continued. And we were in touch with the guard commander via radio. We were in touch with each other via radio. And we patrolled around. But we had to keep it random, and we had to keep it interesting. I've been down this street for the 33rd time in the last hour. You know what I mean. It became tedious. And how did we do this? We played hide and seek in Land Rovers. One Land Rover would go off. You were staggered, so one Land Rover would disappear and go off to change the guard. Meanwhile, the other guard would disappear on a patrol and hide. There were some great spots, and some of the spots were very ingenious, where you could take a Land Rover, still be doing your job, and hide. And then it was the job of the other Land Rover to find you. So he had to patrol the whole area again, slowly and carefully, and find you. Once he found you, you would then drive off on patrol, and he would then go and find somewhere to hide. So the patrols were actually being carried out. The place was being monitored, and the guard was keeping awake. Now, this may have come as a surprise to many senior officers, etc., but not to anybody who did guard on that particular base at that particular time. It was a way we used to keep ourselves alert, because if you are looking for nothing in the hours of darkness, which can be a long, long time up here in the north in the winter, you need to pique an interest, and this kept us interested. There were other things we did to keep people alert and awake. Now, the practice didn't go on forever, because the guarding changed and the way things happened changed. And that brings me actually to another tale. As I said at the start, it was a mix of experienced and inexperienced guys on the gate and in the Land Rovers. And there was one very serious incident. And it was a difficult time for guarding, and not just because of the threat to the station, which was serious. It was a family's day, so you had lots and lots of people coming and going from the camp, who were able to go onto the camp because it was family's day and there was displays, events, fly pasts, that kind of thing going on. And I was on night shift, thankfully. But the incident involves the day shift guard on the gate, main gate guard. Now, there was more on the gate because of the extra people coming and going. And the incident happened during the day, and I'll come to what that was shortly. But when we arrived for our night shift to take over and relieve things were obviously not as normal. And we hurried out to relieve guards, etc., because they'd been out for extra time and this. And we didn't find out till later what it was. But there was an atmosphere about the place. Right. The story. Well, the story is that there was two men armed on the gate, doing passes, opening the gate, etc., as normal. And there was an armed guard in the bunker, and we carried live ammunition on this duty, by the way. I should have mentioned that to start with. Anyway, a member of the Air Force had arrived with a few others of his family, etc. And instead of reaching for a pass and showing who he was, he pulled a water pistol from his belt at his back. A black water pistol. Now, the guys on the gate could see it wasn't real. But they didn't see it initially, so the initial reaction was to bring their weapons. And at that time, and on that guard duty, the weapons, although with a live magazine, were not loaded. There was no round, so they had to cock the weapon to start with. The guy on the gate wasn't so lucky. His weapon had a magazine of ammunition on it, but again, the guy sat there, or stood there rather, in the bunker, saw the black weapon, saw the guys going for their weapon. His weapon was already at the ready. He made it ready. He loaded one into the chamber. All that was stopping and firing was the safety catch was on. He just needed to flick it and he could open fire. What had happened was diabolical. The person should have known better and was dealt with. That's not the part of the story. The part of the story wasn't the two guys on the gate who had got as far as their weapons were at the ready, but the poor guy who was about to open fire on what turned out to be a member of his own armed forces. And the bad luck was he wasn't an experienced guy. He was a shiny new first-time gate guard. Thankfully, his training stopped the guy with the water pistol getting killed. Now, can you imagine how he would have felt? Yeah. Anyway, you can see why, when we arrived, there was an atmosphere about the place. I'm not going to say any more about the identities involved. That's not the story. It's just, it was part of the guarding at the base. But the main one was the hide and seek. Yes, it was fun. Yes, we probably shouldn't have been doing it. But yes, it kept us alert. Anyway, this has been a quite long waffle. I'm going to close it now. And just to let you know, on Friday is a video from Lochindorb, the first Donder since the easing of lockdown. Thanks for watching, and bye for now. Thank you for watching Desmond's Donders. We'll hope you'll join us again for more photos, waffle and me as we travel around Scotland. Bye for now.